Single dad saves drowning woman, she threatens him, then shows up wearing his clothes. The first time I saw her, she was already slipping under the water, and I knew somehow that saving her would change my life in ways I wasn't ready for. The river had been quiet that evening, the kind of silence that usually calms a tired mind. I had taken my son there countless times before, teaching him how to skip stones, how to listen to the wind through the trees, how to find peace in the small things. But that day something felt off. Maybe it was the way the current moved faster than usual, or the strange uneasiness sitting in my chest. And then I saw her, a flash of movement, a hand breaking the surface for a split second before disappearing again. Without thinking, I ran. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the idea that one moment can change everything, take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stories like this deserve to be felt, not just heard. I didn't hesitate. I jumped into the freezing water, my body reacting before my mind could catch up. The current was stronger than it looked, pulling hard against me, dragging me sideways as I fought to stay afloat. For a second, I thought I might not make it. But then I saw her again, just beneath the surface, her hair fanned out like dark threads, her body sinking. I grabbed her arm. She was unconscious, limp, heavier than I expected. Every second felt like a battle, against the current, against my own fear, against the thought of my son waiting on the shore. I couldn't fail, I wouldn't. With everything I had left, I pulled her up, kicking hard until we broke through the surface. The swim back felt endless. My arms burned, my lungs screamed, but I kept going. Finally, my feet hit the muddy riverbed, and I dragged her onto the shore, collapsing beside her. For a moment, everything was silent. Then she coughed. Water spilled from her mouth, her body shaking as she gasped for air. Relief hit me so hard it almost knocked the breath out of me. She was alive. That was all that mattered. But then she opened her eyes and everything changed. There was no gratitude in them. No relief, only anger, fear, and something else I couldn't quite understand. She pushed herself up weakly, her hands trembling, and looked at me like I had done something wrong, like I had crossed a line I didn't even know existed. Her voice came out hoarse, broken from the water, but sharp enough to cut straight through me. She told me to stay away from her. She warned me not to follow her, not to try to help her again. There was something almost desperate in the way she said it, like she wasn't just pushing me away, she was protecting herself from something much bigger. And then, before I could even process what was happening, she stood up and walked away. I stayed there for a long time after she disappeared, the sound of the river filling the silence she left behind. My son ran up to me, his small face full of worry, asking if I was okay. I told him I was, but the truth was I wasn't sure, because I couldn't understand why someone would react like that after being saved. The days that followed felt heavier than usual. Being a single dad had never been easy, but I had learned to carry it. My son was my world, my reason to keep going even when things felt impossible. But that encounter stayed with me. It lingered in my thoughts, in the quiet moments, in the spaces between my responsibilities. I kept seeing her face, not just the anger but the fear behind it. A week passed, then another, and then one night everything changed again. It was late. My son was already asleep, curled up in his bed after asking me to read his favorite story twice. I had just finished cleaning up the kitchen when I heard a knock on the door. It was soft at first. Almost hesitant, I froze. Something about it didn't feel normal. No one visited this late, and for a second I considered ignoring it. But the knocking came again, slightly louder this time, so I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me, drenched from the rain, her hair clinging to her face, her body wrapped in my clothes. I didn't understand at first. My mind struggled to catch up with what I was seeing. The oversized shirt, the jacket, it was mine. The same ones I had left hanging outside to dry earlier that day. She looked different, not just physically but emotionally. The anger from before was gone, replaced by something fragile, something broken. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she stepped inside. Her hands were shaking, her eyes scanning the room like she wasn't sure if she was safe, even here. I could see it clearly now. The fear wasn't about me. It never had been. It was about everything else. She didn't explain right away, and I didn't ask. Sometimes people don't need questions, they just need space, so I gave it to her. I handed her a towel, made her sit down, and quietly started making tea. The same way I used to when my son couldn't sleep after a bad dream. Small, simple acts that said, "You're safe now," without needing words. And slowly she began to open up. Not all at once, not in a neat, easy way, but piece by piece. Her life hadn't been kind to her. The kind of pain she carried wasn't something that happened overnight. It had been building for years. Trust had been broken too many times. People who were supposed to protect her had done the opposite. and somewhere along the way, she had learned that survival meant pushing everyone away, even the ones trying to help. That's why she reacted the way she did at the river. Because in her world, kindness always came with a cost, but something had changed that night. Maybe it was the way I didn't chase her. Maybe it was the quiet, steady way I let her leave without demanding anything in return. Or maybe it was just that she had nowhere else to go. Whatever the reason, she came back. And that was the beginning of everything. Life didn't magically become easier after that. If anything, it got more complicated. Letting someone into your life, especially when both of you are carrying your own scars, is never simple. There were moments of doubt. Moments when she would pull away again, retreating into herself like she was afraid of getting too close. And there were moments when I questioned if I was doing the right thing, if I was putting my son at risk by letting a stranger into our lives. But then there were moments that made it all worth it, like the first time my son made her laugh. Or the way she started helping around the house without being asked, as if she was trying to prove she belonged. Or the quiet nights when we would sit in the kitchen, not saying much, but understanding everything. Slowly things began to change, not in big, dramatic ways, but in small, meaningful ones. She started smiling more, sleeping better, trusting a little more each day. And I started realizing something I hadn't allowed myself to feel in a long time: hope. Because sometimes the people who come into your life in the most unexpected ways are the ones who end up changing it the most. But healing isn't a straight line. There were setbacks. Nights when the past came rushing back, when fear took over, when it felt like everything we had built was about to fall apart. And each time we had to fight through it again, together, because that's what second chances are: not perfect, not easy, but worth it.